Welcome to Yalza, a snack-sized slice of Viennese classical music and Austrian culture. I'm your host, Daniel Adam Maltz. Beethoven wrote his Heiligenstadt Testament just a few steps down that way. I'm standing in front of Meyer am Fahrplatz, a Heuriger in Heiligenstadt, where Beethoven lived in 1817. What is a Heuriger?
A Heuriger is a very typical wine tavern where local wine is served. So that's the interesting story. It has to be wine from the own produced vineyards, from the own produced wine. So we have to grow the wine in our own vineyards. And normally the name means it's the wine which is served the same year. Heuriger means it's coming from the German word of Heuer, which means at the same year.
So would this have been something that the likes of Beethoven and Mozart would have known or visited?
Oh, definitely, and especially in our place. Beethoven lived 1817 here, and I mean we know Beethoven moved many times to different places, but compared to Mozart, who was a gambler, Beethoven was quite a difficult character. So he was mostly kicked out after 1 or 2 years from the landlord. So also in our case, he lived only 1 year here, but during his time he wrote partly the Ninth Symphony, and there was a spring very close to our place here. And because of his ear problem, he came to visit this area, and he thought the spring will help him. And finally, he wrote also in this part of the city the Heiligenstädter Testament, because the Fahrplatz, so our winery, is part of Heiligenstadt. It's part of the 19th district.
In his time, this was very much rural countryside. But
right.
Stepping into this house, you can see something quite similar to what we think he might have seen stepping out of his house.
Yeah, the good stuff is it's almost unchanged. You can see even behind me the steps where he lived. Mm-hmm. And I think this is the charming part of a very charming part of Vienna, where wine culture and music and the tradition and the Viennese classic is almost melting together. And I mean, we're only 15 minutes far from the city center, mm-hmm. but it looks like really countryside here, like in a small village outside of the city limits. But I think that's why it's also a very charming area to visit and to have a good glass of wine and maybe listen a little bit of Beethoven's music.
Of course. Was this a Heuriger when he lived here, or did this come later?
No, it was already a Heuriger.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We are actually here since 1683. And most of the Heurigen have a very, very old tradition, and actually wine is since the Roman time here.
So Beethoven allegedly wrote that he particularly enjoyed a crisp Austrian white wine. What variety do you think he might be referring to?
We definitely know at this time was already the field plant planted in Vienna. It's a very, very old recipe how to produce wine. So there are different grapes planted in one field, and they are harvested together and co-fermented. And it's one of the oldest types of wine you will find in Europe, because it was a kind of insurance to plant different grapes and harvest them at the same time. And I guess Beethoven enjoyed a lot of the field land. And we also have another restaurant opposite the square here, the Fahrplatz, which is called Pfarrwirt. And we know Beethoven enjoyed there a lot of tea and coffee in the afternoon. So he actually enjoyed not only the wine here in this part of Vienna.
Well, thank you, Paul, for your time and for talking with us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and be sure to join the conversation in the comments below. Visit classicalcake.com for more. I'm Daniel Adam Maltz. Bis zum nächsten Mal.